Hi, it's the 15th of October. Welcome to TNT. Quick whip around with some of the main stories around Thailand. This whole iCon group collapse is still taking up a lot of the news. Remembering yesterday was a public holiday, so a lot of people on a long weekend, including journalists. So not a lot of fresh news, but unfortunately, some more bus crashes. Bangkok Post reporting 17 hurt as tour bus hits truck. A Malaysian tour bus collided with a trailer truck in Sadao district in Songkhla on Monday. This is right down the very south of Thailand, on the border, injuring 17 Malaysian tourists and a Thai tour guide. And the bus was carrying 46 people. It was heading from Hat Yai back to Malaysia via the Sadao border, a checkpoint. As it approached the checkpoint, the bus crashed into a truck carrying mackerel that was making a U-turn. And police said the driver and the tour guide were trapped inside the bus. 17 Malaysian tourists sitting at the front of the bus were also injured, but the remaining passengers were able to exit the bus safely. The Thai tour guide suffered the most serious injuries. And another bus incident, this reported by Calsod English on their Facebook page. A 12-wheel truck carrying pigs collided with a bus transporting 40 students, university students, returning from a conservation camp inbound to the Nakhon Pathom city, and the accident resulted in more than 30 injuries. And the truck driver stated he was transporting 130 pigs, delivering them to Nakhon Pathom. At the time of the incident, there was also a long line of vehicles moving slowly due to rain, and speculated that the bus driver couldn't brake in time. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured, although the bus certainly looks like it's going to need a bit more than a cut and polish. More bus incidents, I imagine a lot of other traffic accidents yesterday afternoon, people coming back from the long weekend. Moving on to our next story, and we're into this iCon fraud scheme. We're also going to have a talk about Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes. Some people thinking they're the same thing. Well, they're not, but we'll talk about that later. ThaiPBSWorld.com says more investors file complaints against iCon Group. So as this pyramid scheme starts to collapse, of course, everybody's just running for the doors, and all these well-known actors and celebrities who were either supporting it by being presenters or indeed being investors, they're all saying, oh, we didn't know anything about it. Of course. Another 40 investors, led by TV host Kanchai and Kanchompalang, filed complaints yesterday with the Consumer Protection Division officers against the iCon Group e-commerce company and its management. And Kanchai, who's host of the influential Hon Krasai TV talk show, told the media he decided to lead the investors to seek justice after they complained of sustaining losses through investing in the company. Just note there seems to be a problem with the keyboard for this Thai PBS writer. Spacebar problems there and there. Also got the return key problem there. Anyway, better a few mistakes. At least it's not AI written. The TV host announced that he's willing to eat rotten dog meat if it will improve society, as he challenged the iCon Group CEO to come on his TV show to give his version of the company's business, adding that his program is open to all, including the victims and the accused. An update from Calsod English, the Consumer Protection Police, having to work on their public holiday, said those who claim they've been affected by the iCon Group's business model is now around 1,000 people, with a total damage estimated at over 300 million baht. You can just bet that that's going to go up as this week progresses. And just check out the logo. It's not as if the word con was hidden in the word icon. It is actually iCon. As we turn to the usual mea culpa phase before these people are charged, Thai PBS World reporting iCon Group CEO tearfully vows to compensate investors. And in tears and on television, the embattled iCon Group CEO Waratpon Waratvorakun vowed yesterday to compensate investors for the losses they sustained from his e-commerce business. And he dramatically added, "Until the end of my life, And more problems with the Thai PBS keyboard. He said he feels sorry for the investors who suffered losses, while claiming, however, that he had been totally unaware of the losses or that a few investors had taken their own lives because of them, adding that none of them had contacted him about their grievances. And then it looks like he took the opportunity to go on that Thai TV talk show, breaking his silence for the first time on the popular Hon Krasai TV talk show hosted by Kan Chai. The CEO said he'd initially been afraid to appear on the TV program, but had changed his mind, believing it would be more useful to speak out while he's still alive. And certainly speaking from inside a jail cell does pose its own challenges as well. And Waratpon told Kan Chai he would accept all responsibility and will compensate investors, starting with those who are vulnerable and urgently in need of help. He said, "I'll help down to my last baht, and as long as I'm still alive, I'll work at whatever job to earn money to compensate them for the losses." And asked whether his company was simply a pyramid or Ponzi scheme, Waratpon claimed not to know anything about pyramid schemes, prompting Kan Chai to interject, saying he would resign if he were the iCon Group's CEO. Well, it did operate precisely like a pyramid scheme, and the people who would then invite other people to become part of the business, they were given the name of bosses. So it had a structure and names given to the different positions in the pyramid. Let's go to a definition between a pyramid and a Ponzi scheme. The essential difference between the two frauds is that a Ponzi scheme generally only requires investment into something from its victims, usually paid to one person or one organisation, with promised returns at a later pay date. Pyramid schemes, unlike Ponzi schemes, usually offer a victim the opportunity to make money by recruiting more people into the scam. So both businesses, I suppose really just about any company, they also have the same pyramid structure. The reason I sort of know the differences between these is in a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time ago, I used to work as an Amway deprogrammer. People who had been caught up in the whole Amway thing. I was a counsellor, volunteer counsellor, with a lot of these different groups and people, and got to hear all sorts of horrendous stories. Now, although pyramid schemes are technically illegal in a lot of countries, including Thailand, companies like Amway, for example, have ways and different clauses that somehow get around those laws. Amway, interestingly, is quite big in Thailand. And moving on, the Bangkok Post reporting bribery claims to be probed. You can see a lot of media outlets are interested in this story. An investigation will be launched into a claim that a House Committee member demanded money from an executive of the iCon Group, the direct sales company at the centre of an alleged public fraud scheme. And this coming from the House Speaker yesterday. And the Speaker was referring to an audio clip allegedly featuring a conversation between the CEO and founder of the iCon Group and a House Committee member. And the CEO appeared on a television show last night explaining details about the audio clip. He said that at the time someone filed a complaint against him and the man in the clip offered to help him in exchange for 100,000 baht. But a deputy spokesman of the Palang Pracharat Party denied a claim on Monday that he was the man allegedly speaking to the iCon executive in the clip. He said he would sue anyone who makes false accusations against him. And we also note he said he's currently on a trip abroad and will give the media information after his return. I'm pretty sure the police would also like to have a chat with him when he gets back from his overseas trip. The Bangkok Post story says the company's annual revenue reached up to 5 billion baht, despite only having 15 products for sale, and authorities are now investigating whether the sales figures align with the company's reported revenue and whether the products were distributed to the public. Yeah, with a pyramid scheme, you've actually got to have products that are being sold down the line before anybody can make any money. Anyway, from faded stars to comets. Thai PBS World reporting rare chance to see Comet Suchinshan Atlas passing the Earth. There you go, certainly something that you don't see every day. And the story notes that the comet is the brightest comet in the last 13 years, and the comet came closest to Earth at a distance of about 70.6 million kilometres on Sunday night, but it will remain visible to the naked eye in the western sky, close to Venus, until the end of October. So there on the right, pointing down, you've got the comet, and you've got what's usually sort of the brightest point of light in the sky at sunset, Venus, to the left of the photo. And in a cloudless night sky, the ideal time to get a glimpse of the comet is after sunset towards the west. The faint light of its tail can be observed by the naked eye. Binoculars or a telescope will provide a clearer view of the comet, which will revisit Earth in another 80,000 years. So I think the bottom line of this story is that if you don't see it in the next couple of weeks, you're probably not going to see it. Finally, a bit of, well, maybe good political news. Reported in Bangkok Post, House to finally debate amnesty for Lese Majeste cases. And a controversial report on whether offences under the Lese Majeste law should be eligible for amnesty is finally set for debate in Parliament this week. And apparently it's up for debate this Thursday. And the panel had looked particularly closely at denying amnesty to Lese Majeste offences of a deliberate nature, but possibly granting amnesty to those who broke Section 112 without intending to insult the monarchy. So some people in the past have been protesting specifically Section 112 and protesting that particular article in the criminal code and not even mentioning the monarchy. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what happens with that debate on Thursday, if it goes ahead. And with that, hopefully you're a little bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. That would really help, and we'll see you again tomorrow.